times when you thought you'll never have another taste to drink again, you'll never have another desire to smoke again, you'll never have another desire to call that number again, you'll look around and that same thing you said you wasn't going to ever do again is the very thing that the devil have you struggling with because you never press towards your mark. There's a mark, and so the question is, what is the mark? What is the work? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? Disciples, again, ask Jesus, what is the work of God? I like this. Watch this. 29th verse. Jesus answered, said unto them, this is the work of God. Now, let's stop here because when you read this, you're thinking he's getting ready to say something profound. At least I did. I have the problem of reading with premonition. That is, I read and I feel like I know what he's getting ready to say, what he's getting ready to do, how he's getting ready to respond. And I'm thinking he's going to give a profound answer. Wouldn't you think that the answer is going to be profound when someone's asking you, what is the work of God? What is it that God is expecting us to do? What is it God is expecting us to accomplish? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing since I'm following you, Jesus? What Jesus' response was, this is the work of God. He did not say anything strenuous. He didn't say anything that deals with physical labor. He says that the work of God is that ye believe on him whom he hath sent. That the work of God, oh Lord, I thank you, is that you got to believe on him whom he or whom the Father hath sent. Lord, I thank you. Now, if that didn't mess you up, then I understand. We need to switch spots. That messed me up. Because I'm saying, wow. He didn't say the works of God was that I had to go preach to thousands. I had to baptize thousands. I had to do communion every week. He says the work is you got to believe on him whom the Father have said. Lord, I thank you right now. Sound so small, but when you examine it and look into it, you realize just how profound this is. I feel like preaching here. And so the number one thing that mesmerized me was the fact that belief in him is considered to be work. Lord, what I've taken as an everyday thing, what I've misunderstood to be what everybody should do and could do, Jesus said this is actually work. And not only is it work, but it's the work of God. It's the work that came from God. Sue says that God has commissioned this work. I think I need a new crowd tonight. Says that God has signed his approval on this work. This is not John's opinion of what work is. This is not the disciples' opinion of what work is. This is not their perception of what they have perceived God to say work is. God said this is the work of God. This is what God expects out of you. Whoa. Thank you, Jesus. He expects you to believe. I'm going to work this point 2 more minutes and I'm moving. That this is work. Somebody say it's work. Mm-hmm. So now, for those of you who have little faith, you ought not feel so bad now. Because after all, it is. I got 2 people helping me. It is work. It's something that you got to labor to do. I took time for you with me. You don't have to look it up. I looked up that word work. What does it mean? Is there some mystical meaning to it? The word work in this text says that it's what God expects you to labor for. It's what God expects you to accomplish. It's what God expects you to commit yourself to doing. It's I thank you. Point number 2 is for him to say this says that it must be a difficult thing to do. It must be something, Brother Dennis, that just can't be accomplished by ordinary folks. That it got to be a person that has first put forth effort to do. Lord, they ain't hear me yet, God. It's somebody say it's work. You know on your job, if you talking, you not work. Oh, Lord. If you sitting looking around, you're not work. Working says that I am attentive to this. If I'm not paying attention, your boss is going to say, you're not working, what you doing? They want you paying attention. They want you committed to whatever machine you're working on. They want you committed to whatever job it is you're doing. Jesus says to them that your commitment that God is expecting from you is that he wants you to believe in Jesus. He wants you to believe that I've been sent from God. I feel preach coming. He says that what God is expecting you to accomplish is the fact that regardless of whatever come your way, your working have caused you to believe on God. It's work. It's work for me to believe this. It's not an easy thing for me to believe this. I know in church we talk about faith so loosely that you've been convinced that you should have it, and if you don't have it, something's wrong with you. But after reading this text, you need to understand that what he's asking you to believe is going to take some work. I got to work at this thing, and so I got to turn one corner on you and let you know if you don't work, it will work. I got somebody helping me now. It's going to work. You're going to be at a place where God needs you to believe. I'm going to show you in a few more verses here. He needs us to believe. In fact, I'll tell you when you get home, you can read it. The disciples then say to him, I understand that the work of God is for me to believe. Now I need you to give me a sign so we can believe. What sign are you going to show us that's going to enable us to believe? Now, mind you, in a few verses before here, Jesus just walks on water. And now they want him to give him another sign. They even got deep on Jesus and said, Lord, you gave, or God gave Moses and the children of Israel manna from heaven. He gave them bread from heaven. I got any Bible scholars here? They went into this whole discourse with him about it wasn't difficult for Moses and those people to believe because every day they woke up, there was bread from heaven. Bread that they know they didn't cook, they didn't make, they couldn't put that kind of flavor in it, and they said they couldn't help but believe because they had manna from heaven. Jesus then explains to them, that's why I'm telling you, you got to work. They didn't have to work. There was no work that needed to be done. It was undeniable that God existed. It was undeniable that the Lord was on their side. It was undeniable that God was working for them because they had manna from heaven. He says, but what you have is better than the manna from heaven.